In this short video, I want to show you how to add a podcast episode to a Pinterest board and then embed that Pinterest board on a Blogger site. I've been a Blogger fan for many years. My main blog has been on Blogger probably about going on almost 15 years now. And I know Blogger's been around since a lot longer than that. It's a reliable and safe place and a stable place for a blog to hang out. So I've always been a fan. Now, yes, it's not very sexy, but if sexy isn't your thing, but really good, solid, reliable information sharing is your thing, Blogger is not a bad place to be. So I was interviewed recently on a podcast called 50 Tastes of Grey. And in that interview, I was telling the host, Matthew, that here I am on my podcast, and one of the ways that I found to share my podcast was through Pinterest. Now, I'm going to show you all of my steps to how I add my podcast episodes to a Pinterest board that's all of my appearances, all of my guest appearances on different podcasts and different video channels. So first things first, I want you to know about 50 Tastes of Grey. So Chef Matthew is the one that is the host of this, and you can find 50 Tastes of Grey pretty much wherever you find podcasts. It's on YouTube, it's on Apple, it's on all of the podcast channels that you'd ever want to find. So what I wanted to show you is how I add my podcast episodes to my Pinterest board. Now, I have this really cool Pinterest extension. It goes in the extension area of Chrome right up here in the upper right-hand corner. You can see Save to Pinterest. It does have access to this site. So all I have to do is open the site, and then I'll click on Save to Pinterest, and it will ask me which image that I want. Well, there's only one image to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and select that image, and then I'll click Next. And now it'll ask me which board I want it to go onto, and I want it to go onto my guest appearances board. So I'll click Save. After it's been saved to that, it will then say View. So if I click on View, it'll open that board for me. And actually, it opens the pin. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close that window. This has the pin. It has all the information on there. I can go back in and add my own comments and I can add my own description and things like that. But for right now, all I've done is I've just added that page where people can go directly and listen to the episode onto my Pinterest board. All right. So I'll go ahead and close that out. And now I want to look at my Pinterest board. I'm actually going to need to refresh it because I had it open. And now you can see that right on the upper left-hand corner, that Pinterest board shows up. Now I'm going to show you on my About page, I already have my Blogger board already shared on my page, but I'm going to show you how to take all of the steps that it takes. I'll go ahead and click on Reload so that you can see that the new version shows up. Take a minute for it to load here, but now you can see that new episode is showing up on my Pinterest board. All right. Now this Pinterest board is embedded on my About page. I just have it at the bottom. I wanted it to have the ability for people to be able to kind of move around and check out the different episodes that I have. But when they click on any of these, it takes them directly to that particular interview. All right. To add the Pinterest board to your Blogger page, we're going to go back to the Pinterest board itself, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the board. And you've got this little question mark down in the bottom. I'm going to click on that question mark, and it is going to ask me what I want to do. And what I want to do is create a widget. So I'll click on Create a Widget, and it is going to open up this developer platform page for me about add-ons. Okay. So down here on the lower right-hand or lower left-hand corner, it gives me the overview, and it tells me about the different things. But what I want to do is I want to go right down here to Widgets, And I don't want a profile widget. I want a board widget, okay? So the board widget is going to be, it's going to embed the entire board on my page. And there are 3 steps that we need to take in order to do that. So the first one is we have to set up the page with this simple script that allows Pinterest boards to be saved there, okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and select all of that, and I'm going to Control-C to copy it to my clipboard. Now I'm going to go back to my Blogger page, and what I need to do is over on the left-hand side, I need to go down to Layout. And what I want to do is add a gadget. Now, if you're using WordPress or Squarespace or Wix, the place where you would add this code is in the header. If you go to your layout page in any of those 3 platforms and you go to your header, your site header has a place for script to be added. If it doesn't, you probably aren't paying for the right level. One of the reasons I like Blogger is that it's free, okay? So now one of the things that I can do here is add a gadget. Anytime that you add a gadget on Blogger, it creates a space at the bottom of the page for it. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add a Gadget down here on the sidebar. And what I want to do is add an HTML JavaScript gadget. And I'm not going to give it a title, and actually don't even need to show the widget. But what I want to do is go down here to Content and Control-V to enter my script, and then I click Save. All right. So now what I can do is I'll move that all the way down to the bottom of my menu. So that's how you add the JavaScript command to the page. Now what I need to do is go back to the developers page on Pinterest, okay? Now I've got to copy this code right down here. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll across and then Control-C. Now what I need to do is go back to Blogger, and I'm just going to show you how it works if I do this on a page. Now I'll go over here to the left-hand side and click on Pages. And what I want to do is start a new page, okay? Now, in Blogger, the new page opens in the last way that you had it. And it'll either be an HTML view, which you'll see these little code, the code bars there, or it'll be in Compose view, which is just an edit pencil. If you have Compose view, it'll look more like a word processor page. If you have HTML view, it will look like this, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put guest appearances as my title, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my cursor at the end of the code and Control-V to copy my post. There's one last thing that I need to do, and that is I have to replace this text right here, the HTTPS text. I need to replace that with my Pinterest URL. So I'm going to go back to my board again, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that and copy it. Now I have to go back to my page again, and what I need to do is select that. I need to make sure I leave the quotation marks, and I will Control-V to paste it. All right. And now I can preview it just to see what it's going to look like. So you can notice that the default is pretty small. All right. You can see that the default of the Pinterest board is small. Now, if you want to change the size of that, you can go back to your code, and I want you to notice one thing. You've got board width 400, and you've got scale height 240, and you've got scale width as 80. What I want to do is I want to change my board width to 750. And then I want to change my scale height to, it's 240 now. I'm going to go ahead and change it to 480. And then scale width, we'll make 100. Okay. Now when I change my preview again, I'll reload my preview and let's see if it changes it. Now you can see that the size of the board has changed, and you can see the images a little bit more. I could change that even more if I wanted to. Like if I wanted to change the width of my cells, I could change those to 150. And now you can see that when I changed it to 150, it ended up making a scroll bar, so not all of them fit. So now I can go back and adjust the height again. So I'm going to add another 120 onto that. So it would be 480 plus 120 would be 600. Re-preview the page and see if that makes a difference. There we go. So you can see now all of the different Pinterest pins are showing up in the board. My last step is I'm going to click the Publish button. All right. So now when I click on the preview, when I view that page, it's going to load my Pinterest board right onto the page. Takes a minute to load, but once it's loaded, there you have it. All right. One last shout out to Matthew over at 50 Tastes of Gray. I'm going to put the link to my episode on YouTube right at the end of this video. So be sure to go over and take a listen to the conversation that I had with Matthew Gray at 50 Tastes of Gray. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out through the contact form on my website, franklintaggart.com. Thanks for watching.